Hey guys, hope we're having a good day today. So I just want to talk about like an accounting slash bookkeeping business tip about growing your business. And it's really going to be about simplicity scales, fancy fails. So this is one of my biggest weaknesses because my personality type and just the way that I think, I'm very scattered sometimes. And what that means is I get excited, right? So it's like, oh, Facebook looks cool, Instagram looks cool, LinkedIn looks cool, Twitter looks cool. And it's always kind of been like that. And, it wasn't until I started really getting success on the various platforms that I started noticing that there's a couple of reasons why it's hard to switch from platform to platform. And most people, especially if they don't have a marketing team or they don't have anyone really helping them out, it's better for them to just go after like one platform. Then we'll kind of talk about that in a minute. So number one, okay, I'm always going to be choosing one social media platform over another. Now you might see me on different platforms, but that's because generally people are either in my team is managing some of those social media accounts and they're posting content to the account. They're kind of chopping the content up to match the different styles that the platform is based on and the stuff that works really well for the platforms. But what that allows me to do is it allows me to stay very focused on that. And then each team member gets really good at their platform of choice. So for example, if one of my assistants is managing my Instagram content, then I told her, hey, go check this thing out for like a month. Go figure out like what do you have to do to like what's a reel, like REELLZ. I just figured out that what that was on Instagram, right? Because in the past, the only reason I've used social media to grow my business is generally LinkedIn. And the way that I like to do that is by just connecting with a lot of individuals and using like our messaging just style, which gets people to really like you really quickly. And then they start really wanting to work with you long term. And that's basically what our clients have been using in order to get to six figures. Now, some students actually like Instagram more, some like Facebook. And in the past, I would always be like, hey guys, you have all these different options. Here's how you use a platform in general so that no matter what you choose, whether it's Twitter, it could be TikTok, no matter what, you're going to be able to find success on it. And it comes down to principles. Okay. It's what they're called principles. So how do you talk to an individual, right? Because at the very core, no matter what social media or platform that you're using, they all have a messenger inbox. Now, if you can learn how to just talk to someone, it's the same thing as like using like a text message on your phone. They're the same person. Their brain might be thinking slightly differently while they're on the platform, but it's the same person and they're on all the platforms. Now, if I was going to choose one platform to start on or to get really good at, especially if I'm starting out, I would actually be choosing LinkedIn. Now, the reason why I like LinkedIn is just because of its ability to be able to filter who you're talking to by industry, by revenue amount, by number of employees. So that way, like if you're just getting started and you want to go and get to like 10K or 15K per month, the easiest way would be to go and talk to bigger companies first. And you just start getting really good at talking to big companies. And then you're going to have the highest likelihood of those people actually working with you. And that's kind of a secret that we've talked about in other videos. We're going after big companies first. And the easy way is just to make sure you can utilize LinkedIn very properly. Now, another reason why you should be using one social media platform, at least in the beginning, is because it makes it really, really easy. Excuse me, just finishing a cold, so a little hard to breathe in some cases, but it's easy to track metrics. So if you know exactly how much like it takes, how much time, how much effort, how much volume it takes for you to book one call, you can keep duplicating that. And just if you want to get 5 calls in a week, you have to do 5 times the actions, or you just do one action within the platform that gives 5 times more yield. And that's when you can really start scaling, start really being in control. For example, I have a student and she uses like all she uses is LinkedIn. She doesn't do email, she doesn't do Instagram, she doesn't do Facebook. Everything comes through LinkedIn. And she's gotten to about 15 grand per month, but she started at like zero. And it was all from LinkedIn, because at the time I told her, hey, why don't you try Facebook? Why don't you try Instagram? And she tried it for about a week. And she's like, I just don't really like those platforms. And she stayed specifically on LinkedIn. And at first it didn't really look like it was scaling, right? So she got to about like 5 grand a month, right? And it was just kind of like cool. And then she wasn't really trying to grow it as fast. So she wasn't really doing the message sequencing that we talk about. So it was just kind of just like getting more and more connections. And like we have this automated way that you can grow your LinkedIn account. So it keeps getting more and more connections. And then basically what happened was she reached a point, she's like, hey, I'm ready to grow again. And I said, okay, cool. So now just go and do an augmented or abbreviated version of our message sequence. She did. And then she got like 7 calls booked like in a week. Right. And then she's still getting calls booked from that. And it's all because she just stuck with one platform. She got really, really good at that platform. Then over time, what she's going to do is when she kind of joins the mastermind version of the program, we're going to not only help her automate the process even further, we're going to start using more processes like content kind of processes to get people to raise their hand. And that's going to really take her to that 20 grand, 25 grand a month kind of mark a lot more easily. And it's going to be very, very, very simple from there. But it's all because she's put in the work on the one platform. She's really tracked her metrics very, very meticulously. Now, number 2, okay, all social media platforms have infinite scale. What I mean by that is that you can keep growing. Think about it. On Facebook, there's 1 billion people. On LinkedIn, there's 23.5 million business owners in the United States alone. You're never going to run out of people to speak to. It's just going to be about like learning how to utilize the platform to go even further and further and get better and better at connecting with more people. So you're never going to run out of room. You're never going to run out of space. As long as you know how to like verify like the size of the company you're speaking to, you can just keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing as far and as fast as you want. And you're never going to have to really worry about really not being productive. Like when I was first getting started with LinkedIn and when I was getting started with Instagram, the reason why I was going to so many different social media platforms was because I was afraid that I was going to run out of people to speak to on LinkedIn. And then I was like, okay, well, I have to go on Facebook then, because that'll like double the amount of people I can speak to. Then Instagram. And that's kind of a slippery slope. And that I'm glad that I don't have that problem anymore. Like I used to have that problem when I was starting my accounting firm. That's all I was so afraid of. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of people to speak to on LinkedIn, because I was almost feeling like it was the same as like the networking events I was going to. I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but when you're, going to networking events, it seems like there's 3 to 5 really good ones inside of your area. But as soon as you've talked to, there's 20 people inside of each one. As soon as you talk to the 3 events times 20, 60 people, it feels like, oh, I've already asked every single one that they wanted help. And then once that happened, it was so hard to like get business when I would go to those networking events. So I carried that same attitude over to LinkedIn, into the online space. However, what you're going to start noticing is with LinkedIn, it's not like that. With social media, it's not like that. You can touch any person in the entire world for the most part. Like some people don't have a social media account, but you get what I mean. You can even contact Bill Gates if you really wanted to. Now, that's going to make things a lot easier for you to kind of digest, to go and trust one social media platform, put all of your energy into it, all of your effort into it. And then over time, if you ever want to scale or if you ever got a team, then you can start expanding to more platforms and make it really easy for you to be able to, just kind of move it forward. It's not that it's necessary. It's just sometimes it might make sense in the future. You never know what the future holds. Now, the third reason why it's important to go on one social media platform, master that platform, as we kind of just touched on, is you can start handing off the different duties, activities, and different sequences to other people or other team members. So for example, if you have like a virtual assistant, which is one thing we show you how to do inside of the mastermind version of my program, is we show you how to start team building. So how to get a staff account, how to get a virtual assistant, how to get, if you want, because you don't like doing sales anymore, you can do a sales rep. Every hire that you need in order to really scale to more of that 20 grand to about 40 grand a month is really kind of that range. My top student right now is doing about 42,000 a month. We're going to see if we can get him to about 60 by the end of the year. And pretty soon you might see that I got my first $1 million client or $1 million student, who went from, he got started about $15,000 per month about 2 months ago. And by the end of this year, man, he's going to really be just scaling and just flying. So I'm super excited to just really see his progress. And I can't wait to tell you guys a story, because we're documenting this journey like extremely efficiently and effectively. So I would love to be able to show you, okay, some $15,000 a month all the way up to about $1 million per year, and then just kind of grow and just share that with you guys. But yeah, man, that's really the 3 reasons why I like simplicity on our social media, just prospecting methodology. Okay. In the past, I've gone way too wide, and I don't want you to make that same mistake that I did. So that's why I'm sharing this with you today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Now, if you want some help going and growing your accounting or bookkeeping practice, okay, and you want to avoid all the mistakes most people make, go ahead and click on the link either above or below the video to book a call with me. And on that call, we're just going to take a look at, like, where are you right now? Where do you want to go? And then I'm going to outline the process. If you resonate with the process and you think it's going to be a good fit mutually, then we can work together to accomplish these goals together so that you have the highest chance of actually reaching them. Now, if you want some help, this sounds attractive to you, you're tired of doing it on your own, or you've been thinking about getting started, you just are overwhelmed, go ahead and click on the link, book a call. I'll see you there. Can't wait to talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.